This is the graveyard shift, because you're all conferenced out. You've been here for nearly 2 days. Everybody's in a hurry. Everybody wants to go, but this is the highlight, because after this is the panel discussion. So a round of applause for all those people who made it happen here in the last 2 days. Right, we're in a hurry, like the DTI man, but I'm not going to have anybody cut up a pig. It's not going to happen. But I tell you what is going to happen. I'm going to speak quickly, and you have got to listen even quicker. Okay? And let's see if we can make sense out of it. Thank you very much indeed for the opportunity. We're going to discuss 3 things, and I'll put them there for you to see. And we're going to go swiftly through them so that you can understand what we're talking about. You know, everything we try in regard to communications, no matter how modern, no matter how much internet, no matter how much we've got on social media, there is nothing to beat event planning from an eyeball-to-eyeball contact with one another. It just doesn't happen. There's no plug you can pull out. It doesn't matter whether it's video conferencing, it doesn't matter what it is. It is interacting with warm bodies in relationship to how they're going to interact. So event planning itself is not going to go away, and hence the previous speakers who have actually spoken in that regard about staging and production, you've got a career for a long time, because it's going to be more and more important to see that you have greater message retention through these intercourses that we're having at the moment. What we have learned over the last 10 to 15 years is the importance of success. And success comes through a successful pattern of how we go about putting an event together, and hence event planning and a proper event planning. It's not a complicated thing in any way, but it is a systematic process one way or another. I just want to go through the process here when we're talking about planning standards. And this is not a training course. It is just a simplified way that every single conference, every single event, doesn't matter whether it's for 20 people or for 20,000 people, in fact, has to work. The first thing, as you see there on the screen, is the conceptual side. Why are we having it? What is the objective? Why are we getting together? Who are we aiming it at? Who is our target market? Who's our target audience? Are we going to speak to juniors at the same time as speaking to seniors? What is the subject matter that is going to make that happen? Or can we do this by sending a whole lot of emails around the countryside? So conceptual is very important, and what do we want to get out of it? Because they're expensive. Conferences cost a lot of money, events cost a lot of money. We're talking sometimes millions. You take the average public sector event, any government department, you take this event, we're talking millions of rands. You've once got to make the most of it. Of that there's no question. So conceptual is where it all begins. You cannot bypass that. It is the very first thing. And of course the second thing is the logistical planning. You know, those humdrum things, who's going to speak on the subject, how we're going to put the program together, what is the best way to do these things, how much time should somebody get to do them, registration, staging and production, decor, what you see on the table. This all takes planning, this is all the logistical side. And in the middle of all that, with the golden thread is, in fact, the financial side. Can we make it within this budget? Should we skimp there? Can we add there to make it a success? And lastly, and most importantly, with any kind of event planning is afterwards, and immediately afterwards, like virtually the next day or two, is did we meet our objectives? What went wrong? How can we improve? We spent 10 million on this. We spent 30,000 on this. It's money that we've got to account for, no matter how much it might be. And at the end of the day, what were the pitfalls? What were the negativities that we can take it and improve upon those particular things? We did a survey with a whole lot of corporate and association planners, because the two aren't the same. Corporate events, association of pledges are two totally different things. And it is quite concerning, actually, how many events are not done satisfactorily as far as the end user is concerned. This is because there's no benchmark, there's no guide, there's nobody who explains it simply and sees that those motions are gone through, that everybody is on the same page in that regard. You take staging and production companies. And what do you find with staging and production companies, as well as decor companies, as well as registration companies, is they actually do offer an event planning service. Certainly you're going to find that the majority of them will actually do the logistical side. Not many do the conceptual side, but they all have it as a non-core function that they actually undertake. So what are we talking about here? What we're saying is that the playing field is actually exceptionally uneven. Never mind the fact of our previous past, but in event planning, it is very noticeable. And as the gentleman said 2 speakers ago, it is a soft skill, but it is an exceptionally important soft skill. If the HR industry, if the marketing industry, if the PR industry can get together as soft skills and see that there is some kind of standard, there's some kind of mechanism that takes it to its next level and sees that you go through the motions so that you can either justify or ensure that you improve the next time, then really event planning is not going anywhere in relationship to the amount of money it's costing as the most effective communication tool that you're ever going to get. And the tragedy is how many are good. And the tragedy of it has how many don't get recognized, are not allowed to be shown to stand up and be counted. Certainly there are a number of certification programs. I know of several myself. But that is to test on a totally different level, where we're talking about the different makeup of the different unevenness of the playing field, to see that the motions and the aspects that I mentioned to you are undertaken, and that the actual client and potential client can in fact ensure that those particular items are in fact undertaken. So, having said all that, let's talk about standards. The Mice Academy put together the professional planner standards. Why? Because the industry called for it. HR managers in particular said, we've got to do something about this. We need that guide. It doesn't have to be cast in concrete. Let us do it. Let us not wait for a government department to do it for us, because at the end of the day, it is the industry that should look at it and advise and take the government department along with us, whoever within the government is interested in seeing what we're doing. Because it's not necessarily tourism. It is not that specifically. It is a much different kettle of fish. The tourist has a different frame of mind to a delegate, a different frame of mind to somebody who's attending an event. We must remember that. So here are the simple processes that one should take heed of. One needs to subscribe as an individual to a standard. There are about 60 tasks altogether. Some, the majority of event planners know about. Others, they don't know anything about them. Not only that, it is ever-changing, it's ever-improving, because it involves different kinds of human beings in different stages of that communication process. So they need to be tested. Very simple Q&A tests, quite within the capabilities of the average individual, and certainly average event planner. They need to receive some kind of certificate of verification, not a certificate of attendance. Certificates of attendance, with all due respect, you could be up falling asleep. Tobacco, don't go to sleep. Just stay awake, please, I'm still talking. And that is what a test is for. That is where it all comes in. Now, the beauty of what I've gone through up to now is all online, taken at the individual's pace, one way or another. But what is important after that is that that individual planner needs to get recognition. The market needs to know they exist. The people who are looking for those that follow a guide, that are not going to be just a secretary, and please, nothing derogatory about a secretary, but a secretary takes notes. A secretary generally listens to what the boss says. An event planner puts it all together and advises and assists in seeing that an event takes place properly. So, at the end of the day, they must get that recognition. So the Mice Academy will ensure that they're on various listings, that it is taken through to the media, that somewhere along the line they will get various kinds of recognition that will go back to potential clients, or give credibility if they are a salaried event planner. This is terribly important. So the incentive is there. Why must I do this? Because you can stand up and be counted and say, yes, I do know about that. Hang on a second. Maybe I need to just look up in regard to safety and health and safety. Maybe I do need to look up about the SAMRO. What does it actually mean not to have a license? Very important to the event planner. How many event planners know that? Let me check, because they're not going to advise the boss, whoever that might be within the corporate or the association, in regard to that specific aspect. A lot of people out there, by the way, are most concerned about this whole question, not concerned, but perplexed about when you talk about radical economic transformation. Not because it's particularly scary, but because it seems to be something that's being done at a macro level. It's not being brought to my level, not to the level that those people out there, you and I, well, most of us, understand. What do we mean by that? What do we actually mean? What are we saying, perhaps at even a micro level? Well, I've looked up a definition or two. And if I have to boil it all down as it is put in the dictionary, radical means thorough. Economic means material, prosperity. And transformation means a marked change. So, on that basis, if we're talking about that, there's a workable solution here. And that workable solution is that thorough material prosperity for a marked change. I was most encouraged, as you were, to hear about confidence, passion, etc. There is so much good happening. There is so many people taking their rightful place. It is not all doom and gloom. Our challenge is that there are a lot of us. Not all of us haven't been given the opportunity. But it can be done. And there it is, that you can see it for yourself. Because event planning, as I portrayed it to you, is so terribly important, that is the offer that the Mice Academy, with its initiative of the Professional Planner Standard, is offering to anyone who has attended this particular conference to actually become a subscriber free of charge and to come through the process confidently in order to establish yourself, and also to be able, whether you're a supplier, whether you're an independent planner, whether you're with an association, whether you're a government employee, to come through the process with us. And we offer that free of charge to the industry because you're here today.